Hi, this is Craigsy with my Craigsy styling. I'm gonna pop open this hair cutting kit. I got started and then I realized I could record this. So, cutting my own hair in my bathroom. My apology for the fan, but you turn on the light and the fan comes on. Now this is really a little more than just a demonstration how simple and easy it is for one to cut one's own hair. I was doing this myself last night when I got started, because you've seen my hair for a while. It's been kind of, I don't know, yeah, it was getting to be a bit of a mess. And then I realized, hey, I got the guts where I can just simply cut my own hair, do a good job of it, as I'm confident I know I will. Last night was really easy, right? So, I mean, I was going to try grow this out and use it to donate, whether to Locks of Love or whatever company would be. But what we're going to do this time, just, I was just straight cut. I wish I could keep this. I can. It's not too late, but I'm going on with this process here. I'm just gonna take care of my looks a little bit more and be more well kept. So, starting with now this isn't for everybody. Don't necessarily try this at home if you don't know exactly what you're doing. And though I'm not a trained professional, I've had enough experience where I've cut my own hair, and I'm just kind of feeling this out, see if it's what I want to do, making sure, giving it thought, and whatever I gotta tell you before I do this, don't just try this at home unless you know darn well what you're doing. And here we go. It's yeah. So we got a little bit of this here. Well, you know, I'm gonna try this with my glasses on, actually, so I can see a little better. Usually it's not the best idea, but so I can see that. Okay, I already cut through here, and you got into here a bit. Get back here. Oh my gosh! Look at me, fluffy. I look beautiful. I really do. I'm a beautiful looking guy, you know. But I'm hesitant to cut this. I love it. Right? Anyhow. Oh gosh. This is hilarious. Get to where I'm finally gonna do this, and by golly, I don't want to. But the word sacrifice comes to mind. You gotta do some things you don't want to do. Alright, I'm doing my practice, like stretching without cutting. And just kind of, my God. If this doesn't work out as well, there is a wonderful amount, there are plenty of places to professionally finish the job. Alright, here goes. I'm just not gonna fuss over how I like it. Now, why am I doing this again? Alright. Love your hair, but let's go. This isn't necessarily the most proper way to do it either. I'm being very gentle about this. Alright, well, you know what? The advice I have for anybody who's growing hair out, don't get too fussy about keeping it. Oh! I know I've gotten very attached to this. I really have kind of come to like the idea of having long hair. I have my reasons for cutting it, and I'm gonna need to act on those reasons. So I'm cutting my hair, going everywhere, and the more I cut, the more I realize I'm a beautiful stud. Yeah. So, I mean, many people, I've been told for years, you can't just go cutting your own hair. You can't just do that. It's going to take all this effort and training. I haven't had any training. You know, I've only had my own experience when I was a kid. My dad had already been cutting my older brother's hair because he didn't like how it turned out when he sent my brother to get his hair cut by a barber. We got paid to have it look like that. Hell, I could cut it. So he got himself an old now. He got himself a haircutting kit, and there you go. Started cutting my brother's hair, cut my mom's hair, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know how long he's been cutting his own hair. I'm starting with the scissors, and by golly, this is so easy. And actually, I'm glad I got started. Hesitating so long on how I was going to keep this, or thought, I'm going to keep it. Once you cut it, it's gone. And then you got to wait for it to grow back, but it does grow back. Yes, it does grow back. Eventually. Oh, this is kind of... I'm going to look a lot closer at it, too, to check on this. Wow. I never... Okay, yeah. I was going to say I never thought of myself as pretty. But, who am I kidding? I'm a pretty guy. I'm a beautiful man. The only reason the girls weren't crazy about me when I was a kid, a couple of reasons. Like, to be completely honest with you, I didn't have a bunch of money. My parents were too modest in their income, so forth. No offense, but unless you guys are freaking rich, you're not gonna be the guy that everyone wants. But I sure had the looks. Didn't have the money, but I had the looks. What do you do when you got looks? Oh, yeah, what do you do when you get the looks if you ain't got the money? Well, you just look good. Right? Yeah. So this good looking kid, growing up in a small town, Wisconsin, realizing, the whole time everybody's like, hey, you ever go to California? I'm like, no, I've never been to California. Why? Because it's awesome. Yeah. And then all these years later, I don't know, kind of happy in Wisconsin. It's all right, It's not too darn bad. Oh, this is just too easy. Oh, hey. I really didn't know it'd be this easy. Wow. Alright, so anyhow, it just occurred to me while I'm doing this and letting you folks watch me do this, I could be having a more interesting conversation. Solo conversation, monologue, whatever. Yeah, haircut monologue, you know. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, sweet. Gosh, and everybody's gonna ask me, hey, Craig, where'd you get your haircut? My bathroom. Your bathroom? Who cut your hair in your bathroom? I did. Yeah, because I'm crazy. I know. Still talk about haircut. That's alright. Sure. Might do a good video edit of this. I might just take this video and I don't know, do what do you call it? See, this one guy still around who edits video, or just do this on my own. You guys remember Sting, the wrestler from like back in the 1980s? Now everybody remembers him from like the 90s when he started doing he grew his hair out. I think he was bleaching it blonde before that, but then he let it grow out and his black hair. And I think Steve Borden has black hair, or if it's not black, it's a dark brown or whatever. But you know, when he first came out, and I guess for the first few years, Sting, you know, he had that the face paint of he and Ultimate Warrior used to be like tag team partners before Jim Hellwig went to the WWF. Anyhow, Jim Hellwig became the Ultimate Warrior in WWF, and going on to become the champion over there in WrestleMania in 1990. I remember that. Anyhow, he used to Sting would in the mid 1980s he'd have his hair short, but he would have it like bleach blonde, and it actually looked pretty cool. But he would do this thing they had back in the 80s. I don't know if they called it a duck tail or whatever, a tail, right? And it'd be, I just thought of it because as I'm cutting this, I realized that's how you do it. You grow your hair out kind of decent, but it's like to kind of like a few inches or so. But what Steve Borden, wrestling famous Sting, would he'd be one of those guys who'd have that little ducktail out in the middle of the back of his hair. If you're worried about hair, he had like the little short bit that went maybe halfway down his neck, a little bit there. And it looked kind of cool for a bit. It was alright. But it was kind of funny though too, because of course people make fun of all these fun things. You know? You don't look like you're fun? We'll make fun of you. Right? That's why the word make fun of people, the expression, it's funny, because bullying is not, but making fun, there's nothing wrong with creativity. You want to enjoy life being fun? Yeah, it's fun. If you don't have a lot of activity coming to town, like you're in a small town and you don't get the sporting events like the majors, you don't get a big, nice movie theater. Yeah. You just get what you got. Yeah, what's called make your own fun. This is turning out better yet than I expected. You know, yeah. Oh yes. Oops. I hope they allow this on the videos. You know, me just cutting out here, doing this. Because, if so, I'm going to keep doing it, I think. Do some DIYs here. Craziness. I'll be cutting my hair in a few minutes. Fluff that out a little bit. Let's get it over the ear. Huh. So gentle. I'm very gentle with my hands, so it's like it's easy for me to go do this. But I've practiced. I've done this before, but not like my whole haircut by myself. This is my first time, so I decided to get a video, and I'm not sure if my angles are all the best for all this, but the funniest thing is with how much people cost, how much people charge for haircuts. You know, you go to these places where it's, you know, it used to be $5 or $6, $7, $8. You know, back in the day, $10. Get a coupon for haircut. Some places honor their competitor coupons, haircuts, and yeah, well. And actually, I'm not doing this to be a smart ass, but it might seem that way, because honestly, it's working out pretty easily, coming out pretty nice. And I'm just doing this live. I got 2 phones going, so, and one at each angle. My golly. You know, I'm surprised myself. Okay, one last time. I am very happy with how this is turning out, to the point I would put my own self-done haircut against a lot of people's out there who do this for a living. And I'm sorry, I'm not being rude. I'm not doing this for selfish reasons. I am doing this because if I can cut my own hair at home myself and do this good a job, well, here's where like the legal disclaimers and so forth come in. They're like, am I allowed to say that? But that's quite interesting. Of all the people seeing me do this, among the most surprised that it's turning out this well, me, I am very surprised. I'm shocked, actually. You know, I like how sharp these scissors are. because they are really meant for really, and they're actually not that used. I had it a few years, but I've used the clipper to go over my hair. Oh, the clipper would be a breeze. Just go over the whole head, and if you want to go bald or really close to bald, right? Wow, it's crazy. Back in the day, yeah, I could see even only a few years ago, it's some movie or whatever, some girl doing this in her radical, rebellious stage or whatever. But for an average guy like me, 49 years old, and doing this like this, turning out pretty nice and practical, decent. Yeah, I admit I did not think of doing this until I cut it last night in front of the camera myself and saw that not in front of the camera, in front of the mirror, excuse me, myself, and I saw that I could do this. You know, I think I'm going to leave a lot of it back here. And, did I miss much? Yeah, this here. This. Wow. Nice, you know? For goodness sake. And you know what? I'm just about done. This little 22 minutes into the video here. On the recording. Running straight through. But after editing, who knows where we're at. But, wow. Okay. Okay. That's hilarious. That is entirely amazing. I'm gonna watch this on the video, of course. See that? That's the way to do it. See it for yourself instead of having to look at all these mirrors and everything. We'll touch up and that'll be it. I'm off the one camera, partially on the other. Shit. Oh, yeah. Alright, so anyhow, that'll be good enough. I'm just gonna I'll leave it. Yep, I'm gonna grab a towel. Forgot to grab one. Yeah, probably leaving everybody lonely in there. No. And by the way, if you have dark hair and you do this, make sure you do it with a nice dark t-shirt where everybody can see all the fluffy, funny hair. Alright, that's it for now. And I don't gotta be charged for this at all. I don't gotta pay nothing. Cool.